You're watching NFL Daily. Harrison Graham, Tom Downey. We got the latest NFL news and rumors to get into, and there is a lot to jump on into, including everything going on around Black Monday with coaches getting fired left and right. But, Tom, we got to start with the Raiders, and shout out Josh Jacobs. The Raiders are like the Cowboys out west. He had a little bit of fun after the Raiders win in Week 17.
That's one way to describe it. Obviously, we're filling in for Mitch. He's out on assignment right now. Look, Jacobs got arrested for DUI early Monday morning, 4:42 a.m., outside the Vegas airport. And he was involved in a single car accident and then was treated at the hospital for minor injuries. Now, there's some conflicting information out here because he was booked on the DUI charge. His attorney said that the charge hasn't been formally filed yet and also made notes of there was no blood test done to prove that he had a DUI there. So, okay.
Look, I crash my car all the time at 4:45.
The timing here matters to me because the Raiders, of course, were on the road against the Denver Broncos.
Yes.
And they, of course, flew back that night. And then Josh Jacobs gets arrested within 12 hours of scoring the go-ahead score and game-winning score in that game against Denver.
In a different state.
Look, here's what happened, man. The dude went out and partied right after he landed and then got a DUI.
He's like, hey,
allegedly.
Second straight 1,000-yard season, YOLO, I'm going out in Vegas, baby. 75-minute flight or so from Denver after that game. He was probably home by 9 o'clock local time there in Las Vegas. And, he went out, had a couple of cocktails, I'm sure.
And look, if you want to, and of course it's all alleged, whatever. If you want to do this and your season's over, you can finally relax a little bit. If you want to go have some drinks, assuming you're wearing a mask and whatever and being not stupid, cool. I get that. Man, you're a professional athlete. Call a damn Uber.
Yes.
Like, this is not difficult. Hell, if you're too tired to drive, because clearly he wasn't in too tired to drive because he crashed his car.
Yes.
So if you're too tired, if you've been drinking, you're making millions of dollars. Yeah, he's a rookie player. It's not the same caliber as like a Zeke Elliott deal, whatever.
He's a first-round pick.
Come on, man.
What is your one-word reaction to Josh Jacobs getting arrested allegedly? Let us know in the comments section.
Oh, he did get arrested allegedly for DUI.
Okay.
Stupidity. Like that's the only word here. Like, this is not a difficult prospect for a professional football player and a normal adult to do. Like, just don't drive drunk.
It's not that hard.
And clearly, I guess he was planning on going out. Just you can schedule the Uber in advance. It's really not that difficult. So for Jacobs to go out and do this, I think it's stupid. I see disappointed, clown, unnecessary, immature. That's a good one, too.
Immature. I think he'll learn from this. It's a bad look, and hopefully he can get back on track and they can get things going in the right direction.
A lot of dumb ones in there, too.
Not a great look for Josh Jacobs and the Las Vegas Raiders. More NFL news and rumors. Let's talk about Carson Wentz because, Tom, his future in Philadelphia is very much in doubt after apparently him and Doug Pederson cannot fix this relationship.
I think it's not just the Wentz-Pederson relationship. I think it's Wentz and the organization relationship. So the report is he's going to request a trade, which, kind of makes a lot of sense there.
Probably has happened behind closed doors already, if we're being honest.
He was inactive, by the way, in Week 17, so we got to see the gloriousness that was Nate Sudfeld. The tricky part for me is what is going to be the trade interest and the trade value. Look, the Eagles love to get rid of his contract, but unless Wentz really redoes it and adjusts some of the pending guarantees on his deal, as it stands right now, you trade for him, you're really giving him a 2-year, $50 million deal. Now, that's not that bad, but if he plays like he did in 2020, you don't want him again.
No.
This is not a starting caliber quarterback. And look, everything about him ended up being broken. Like his mechanics, his confidence, his feeling in the pocket, it all just fell apart.
And I'll tell you what, I'm not saying what Alshon Jeffrey did a couple of years ago, snaking him behind his back was a great look, or whatever that was. But you fast forward, I kind of wonder if he has leadership attributes at this point. It's not a great look overall. When you get benched and within a week your agent is leaking that you want out, that's not being a good teammate.
Troublesome.
That's not someone I want leading my franchise. So I think it's very much in doubt where he plays next season. Where do you guys think he'll play in 2021? Go ahead and get your votes in the comment section. I think the Colts are the leader in the clubhouse because of the Frank Reich connection.
Yeah,
but
and if Rivers retires, that does make some sense.
Brissett's off the books. They have a lot of money being paid for quarterbacks right now, and a lot of that cap is going to clear up this offseason. So if it's not the Colts, Tom, there's not a lot of suitors out there. So go ahead and let us know.
I'm excited to see what happens.
What you guys think in the comments section. More on the Eagles here, Tom, and this has been circulating. Did the Eagles tank? Yes.
Yeah, they did. And you know what? Good for Philadelphia. They've been like, you see big media, Giants people, and holier than thou. Oh, how dare they sabotage into the game, whatever. Yeah, they sat several key players who were banged up, who they wanted to restructure deals and wanted them to get hurt and have those deals guarantee whatever. They benched Jalen Hurts, which, by the way, quick note here, Hurts was bad.
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts did not play well in this game. 7 of 20 for 72 yards. Yeah, he had 2 rush touchdowns and 34 yards on the ground. Cool.
Yeah.
7 of 20 for 72 yards. So benching Jalen Hurts in and of itself is not a tanking move. The real tanking move was once you saw Nate Sudfeld play literally a single snap, you were like, oh, God.
Nate Sudfeld literally can't play.
It was like, and I get 27-year-old trying to do right by him, I guess. But the minute he was out there, they're like, okay, yeah, this is not going to work. This is bad. That was the tanking move.
I'm not going to say I hate what they did overall. I will say, and I'll say this confidently, that's about as uncomfortable as I've ever been watching an NFL game.
That's because it was the Sunday night game.
That was one of those.
I was busting out watching Nate Sudfeld. I thought it was hilarious.
I think he'd be bad if he was a college
quarterback. I got some great comedy factor out of it there. So, Sudfeld sucked. I get it. There are Giants people upset, like, oh, it cost them a playoff spot.
Don't go 6-10.
Yeah, you'll miss the playoffs because you went 6-10.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
Eagles were right to tank. It's funny to me that because there are media members out there who were like, yes, Jets should tank for Trevor Lawrence. And they're like, how dare Philadelphia do this? What? Like, come on, guys. Let's not ignore the obvious double standard you're setting. 3 picks in the top 10, the difference 6 and 9 where Philadelphia would have been drafting. That's valuable. Good for Philadelphia. Yeah, they tanked. I'm glad that they did.
Did they tank? Y for yes, N for no. We got a 2-part question here. Let us know if they tanked. Also, should they be punished? 1 for yes, 0 for no.
I think the only fair thing, because this obvious tanking cannot be tolerated, you have to have the Eagles flip with whoever finished 3rd in the NFC East. Only fair outcome. Only fair outcome available.
I think that's fair.
I'm kidding. No, they should not. It's fine.
The answer is why they tanked. 0, they should not be punished.
Thank you.
Is it the end of the road for Drew Brees, Tom? There's reports out there, and after 11 fractured ribs, it might be the end of the road.
Maybe. Brees is going to be an interesting spot this year, and the report from ESPN, I think, was a fair comment about how Brees kind of has had one foot out the door once he signed that post-retirement broadcasting deal with NBC, which good for Drew Brees, smart man, taking care of your future there. He's on the wrong side of his career. Like, you can tell the arm isn't what it was in his prime. He's still better than Taysom Hill, make no mistakes about it. I'm sure the Saints wouldn't mind bringing him back for one more year, but I think Brees knows he doesn't have that much left in him, and he took a beating this year.
Yeah.
When you're his age, at some point you're like, I don't want to deal with this shit anymore.
Injuries are creeping up. He had the thumb issue last year, 11 fractured ribs and a punctured lung this year. I mean, the $2 or $3 million per year from NBC or whatever it is, that sounds like a pretty cushy gig at the age of 42 or whatever he'll be next year. Of course, the salary implications, Tom, if he does retire, $13.5 million saved there. Post-June 1, though, full $25 million.
So what they can do is designate him as a post-June 1st cut to save more money, though you don't get that money until after June 1st, and in a down salary cap, likely at least somewhat year, for a team really far over the cap, that's going to be at least a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with Brees. I think a lot of it depends on, once again, what happens in the playoffs. I think if they would have made a deep run last year, he may have retired, but obviously wanted to give it a swing. We'll see what they do against the Chicago Bears this upcoming weekend. Now, we've got NFL jerseys on sale for you guys for less than $80, and some of these for even less than that. Chatsports.com/jersey deal. We got Alvin Kamara, George Kittle, tons of different jerseys out there. All your favorite players from all of your favorite teams. At most, they're $80 or $79.99. Sometimes they're as low as like $50, depending on if you can find the right deals. By the way, when you go to that link, you can filter by price. So if you want to find the cheaper ones, you can do that as well. Chatsports.com.
Can filter by team, of course, too.
Jersey deal. Lots of different filter options. If you're looking for something specific, the filter button is like right in the middle of your screen. You'll be able to find it. Chatsports.com/jersey deal. Get yourself a new jersey. If your team's in the playoffs, go ahead and get one today. Let's keep these rolling here, Tom. The Jacksonville Jaguars are looking for a coach. They have fired Doug Marrone.
Tanking to perfection. They won week 1 and went, oh, God, we might have lost Trevor Lawrence, and then didn't win a game the rest of the year.
That's the way to do it because you don't want to go 0-16, but you want to make sure you get that number 1 pick.
Week 1, Gardner Minshew remains the absolute GOAT there. But, of course, Jacksonville, they fired Doug Marrone. It was the very obvious decision to make here. The Jags have the number 1 overall pick. There's been a lot of reports around Urban Meyer in this job. Firing Marrone was the obvious decision. They had to dump him. There was no way you were going to be able to bring back Doug Marrone.
Yeah.
Not something that this team could have done. Absolutely not.
The problem is Marrone did some good things there. You obviously think of the 2017 team that went to the AFC title game, Tom, but that regime's over. Like Coughlin, it's all in the past. So I think it was time to turn the page here in Jacksonville. And now the focus is which coach gives you the best chance of maximizing Trevor Lawrence. That has to be the focus here if you are the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Marrone is out. We will see who ends up coming in. You're watching NFL Daily. Harrison Graham and Tom Downey here. We'll keep things rolling here on Chat Sports. If you're watching live, we got 650 of you guys joining us. Like the video if you haven't already. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. More on the Black Monday coaching search, Tom. Urban Meyer, could he get the Jags gig?
It's an interesting idea here because this is a situation where the NFL kind of floated and discussed Urban Meyer last offseason a little bit, linked briefly to jobs like the Browns and Washington and the Cowboys there. And it kind of feels like right now it's almost Jags or bust for Urban Meyer, who, by the way, reportedly expects to get the job in Jacksonville. Now, Urban's never coached in the NFL before, and I think you have to at least consider the track record, because outside of Pete Carroll Part 2, not a great list. Even though there's been good coaches. Nick Saban, the college football GOAT, was bad in Miami.
He was awful.
So this is a bit dangerous. There's a report that, that Urban's never coached, or not, that he wants $12 million per year.
Yeah.
Like, that's certainly that's a lot of money, but whatever. It's owner money. There's no salary cap there. I get it, but it probably means that he wants full control. Do you want to give a guy who's never been in the NFL full control? You got medical issues? It's intriguing.
I feel like we're assuming too much with Urban Meyer, that he can just step in because he's done it at every college job he's been at and just turn around an NFL franchise just like that. I don't think it's that simple. I don't think it would happen that way. Now, I'm not saying he wouldn't have success, but to think he would just walk into Jacksonville, they're a wild card contender next year, I don't think that's really logical thinking, in my opinion. So we'll ask you guys this question. Would you hire Urban Meyer, type H for hire, type P for pass? Not for $12 million, man. I know it's not salary cap money.
I don't care about the money. I think what you're getting at is the control that Urban Meyer would have.
Okay.
And I think from that perspective, you're making him the main decider. I don't know about that. I do kind of want to see what staff he would bring in, because I could see Urban Meyer bringing in Tony Elliott as his play caller.
Okay.
I'm kind of intrigued by that. So I don't know if I'd want him on my team, but I want to see it happen. It could be a train wreck.
It's great for drama.
It could be awesome. I want to see it happen, though.
But speaking of Adam Gase, as we continue with more NFL news and rumors here, Tom, the Jets moved on.
Yeah, shocker, right? The biggest mistake was that he found a way to win a couple games late in the season and end up having success and get the Jets away from the number 1 overall pick.
They should have kept Greg, what's his name, the defensive coordinator.
Exactly.
Maybe they would have tanked better.
Yeah, so the Jets here in the end, no surprise
Greg
here.
Williams.
They move on from Adam Gase, and now it's an interesting situation of who do they end up hiring? Which route could they go? I think it'll be a wide net. I do like GM Joe Douglas a lot, who, funny enough, was on Adam Gase's list. Hopefully, the GM head coach will be tied together, because bad organizations, what they do is they hire one head coach, then a new GM, then a new head coach, a new GM, and they never actually have unison.
Yeah.
And they end up just shuffling out one, thinking things are going to change.
I do like Douglas. I thought he drafted pretty well this past year. Becton ended up being a good pick. So hopefully he can get the right head coach in New York. What is the best open NFL head coaching job this cycle? You got the Jets, Chargers, Jags, Falcons, Lions, and Texans. Those 6 jobs are the open ones. I don't believe there will be any more. So let us know what you guys think in the comments. Which opening is the best job right now? What does Cam Newton's future look like? Looks like him and the Patriots are not going to re-sign after one season.
It's an interesting situation for Cam. Look, the Patriots' offense in general was bad. The run game was pretty good because they have Cam Newton in part, and the offensive line was great at run blocking this year.
Yep.
But Newton did not play that well in a bubble in terms of his own quarterback play, and he didn't have many skill guys around him that were impactful.
That receiver tight end group might be the worst.
Especially once Edelman got hurt, like it's just it fell apart altogether. So it's not a huge surprise that Newton's numbers are not great, and the passing game was more short area because they didn't have anyone to win downfield. It makes sense for both these teams to move on, but if you're Newton, shoot, man, where do you go?
The problem is his mechanics have just worn down over years because he's
taken a beating.
That violent release that he's always had, he just doesn't have the same zip on the ball. He's skipping a lot of passes. He's still an effective runner. We saw him have 12 touchdowns on the ground, but 8 touchdowns in a full season. I think he missed the one game with the COVID issue. That's just not good, man. Like, he's just not the guy he used to be. And I think the skepticism coming into this season largely proved to be true, is that the injuries have caught up to Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to throwing the football. Still an effective runner, but I don't know what his future looks like. We'll let the audience decide here, Tom. What does Cam Newton, where does he play in 2021? I don't think he's a starter anymore.
I don't think he is either, but what about a team like Washington? Like, because Alex Smith honestly wasn't good either.
Ron Rivera connection?
Ron Rivera was like, maybe we bring him back. They're obviously not going to be in draft range for a quarterback. They're not going to have Dwayne Haskins back. You roll with let Allen, Newton, and Smith all compete for a job and see what happens. They're kind of in a weird spot. Maybe the connection makes sense in the end.
Yes, you could do that. I've seen enough from Newton this year. I don't think you can go that far with him. So that is the one concern I would have if I was any team interested in Cam Newton. If you want NFL videos this offseason, we are the place for you. A lot of channels, Tom, they shut it down after the regular season.
Losers.
They just like, the offseason, it's boring. We think it's exciting as hell, and that's why we increase our coverage during the offseason. Videos every single day, multiple videos per day, and it's 100% free for you guys. Hit that big red button and subscribe today because Tom, Mitch, and I, we're going to be plugging out videos just for you guys. Could the 49ers be bailing on Jimmy Garoppolo, Tom? There is some chatter that could happen.
Yeah, the ESPN report was that a lot of the league insiders think they'll move on from Jimmy G. There was one big but or if here.
If they can find someone better.
And maybe they can. Maybe they can't. I think what you'll see San Francisco do is really what Kyle Shanahan pretty much straight up said. Yeah, we're going to see what's out there. We'll explore options at all positions and then make a decision.
And they did this last year.
Yeah.
They flirted with Tom Brady last year. It's not like they haven't done this before. I think it'll be a similar approach. And I think in the end, probably Jimmy Garoppolo's back. But think about this, Tom. 2 out of 3 years. I know you got the Super Bowl year sandwiched in between, but 2018, injury. 2020, only played in 6 games, sprained his ankle twice with that high ankle sprain. The injuries are creeping up.
Injuries are a concern for Jimmy Garoppolo when he keeps missing time. And in terms of his contract, it's not prohibitive moving on. The way it's structured, it's about a little over $26 million cap hit. They can save all but like $2-ish million of that by releasing or trading him.
Yeah.
So if they want to, they can dump Jimmy Garoppolo and go find whoever their upgrade is, be it maybe there's a free agent they fall in love with or a draft guy they go up to get.
What if they want to trade for a Matt Stafford or something like that?
That's intriguing to me.
That's very intriguing.
I like that idea.
To get someone like Stafford or obviously the Matt Ryan connection, but I think he's a little older. I wouldn't do that if I was San Francisco. What to do with Jimmy G, K for keep, D for dump him. Let us know what they should do in the comments section.